Hey, Central Coast, this is Scott Van Pelt. You're listening to Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy here on ESPN Radio 1280.
Welcome back in, everybody. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy right here on ESPN Radio. It's the Led Zeppelin show today.
Thank you for digging deep in your archives.
Hey, man, I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan. I really am. So I love hearing this music. In fact, not too long ago, it was probably about a month ago, I pulled out the old record player and pulled out Physical Graffiti.
Ooh, fun.
Played a little vinyl on it. I was like, man, there's nothing like Zeppelin on vinyl.
Yeah,
there's
little scratches. And
some pops here and there, man, but it's raw.
Baby.
Raw rock and roll. I love it. I just absolutely love it. So, anyway, in the studio with me is Mr. Dave Schmandel from slicksticks.com. We're almost, believe it or not, Dave, the first hour's done. So we went through really, really fast. We talked a little bit about just kind of taking some chances on the golf course and what I was referring to. I went to Lake Tahoe this past weekend and I went and jumped in a lake like so many people have told me to do in my life, and I never did it. And I thought, I'm finally going to jump into a lake.
And it was okay.
And it was not as bad as I thought it would be. You know, when people use that phrase with me, go jump in a lake, it's not usually a positive connotation.
There's some big fish in there to nibble on your toes a little bit, too.
My daughter was so worried about that.
Was she?
She eventually jumped in with me several times, but the first time it was like talking her off a ledge, man. She's like, what about the fish? What about the fish? I said, hun.
So they're really big.
They're where we're at, the fish don't want to be. They're up in the rocks and the weeds and all that other stuff. I said, out in a lake like this, they're not swimming in the middle of the lake like that. They just don't do that, you know.
Well, for fishermen, they say, don't do anything. You'll scare the fish away.
Mm-hmm.
And then swimmers are going, I'm scared. There's a fish.
I know.
Get me.
Well, that's what I told her. I said, when you jump in there, if there's any fish, they're going to freak out.
Yeah.
They're going to go, they're going to dart. You're never going to see them.
Any part of you.
So
well, maybe
anyway.
your toes.
Yeah. So that's what she kept saying. I don't want him to bite my toes. I still kept saying, I was like, look, honestly, she goes, you wouldn't do this if they were going to bite my toes, would you? I said, no, I wouldn't do that. I go, do you think I would jump in if fish would start biting my toes?
Well, you got big toes.
I do have big toes. That's true. You're right. So I should have taken that into consideration.
Okay.
But, again, Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Millie right here on ESPN Radio. You can always stream us, ESPNRadio1280.com. We got some info from Bakersfield that the stream wasn't working the first, 15 minutes, but that's been fixed. So welcome, Bakersfield. I think you guys have jumped in. We were talking a little bit about Vern called from up in Seattle, and he had a match, and he did a warm-up. Warm-up was great, went on the golf course, and things just kind of for 6 holes just fell apart. Mm-hmm. And you know, like Dave said, I think he put it best, a warm-up is a warm-up. And I was always taught to, instead of kind of going full bore, and I know everybody has a different kind of warm-up, but I start with really small shots, and then if I'm hitting it really well with small shots, I don't really go in the full swings. I might take a driver if on the first hole that's what it takes.
2 or 3 swings.
Yeah, 2 or 3 drivers, 2 or 3 drivers, and I'm done. But I think some of that for me is, I mean, I hate to say it, but superstition.
Oh, certainly.
Because like what Vern went through, for me, it's more of the head game. Like if you sit on the range, and I think a lot of people do, you know, you see a guy might hit a large bucket or a large bucket and a half before he goes on the course.
He's shot.
He's either shot and or maybe he, you know, you hear guys say or gals say all the time, like, I don't want to blow all my good shots on the range. You do create a mindset. Mm-hmm. You know, now some guys hit great and gals hit great warm-ups, have great warm-ups, and they get to the course and they have phenomenal rounds. You know, but I hear more often about what Vern called about, where it's like, man, I striped everything, every club I'm pulling out of my bag, everything's great, and then I got to the golf course and I can't decide of a barn. So I think you just got to try to find the warm-up that works for you.
Got one for you.
Yeah, and I was just gonna ask you about it.
I learned this one years and years ago. Take 7, 8, 9 iron, something like that out, and hit a little pitch shot, maybe 30 yards, 25 yards, something like that. And just keep hitting it until you hit it perfect. And it might be your first swing, might be your fifth swing, but you'll eventually hit it pretty good.
Yeah.
And then when you do that, pay attention to where the ball rolls to. And then swing to fly it to that spot until you hit it well again.
Huh.
And
That's
then
cool.
watch to where that rolls to.
Yeah.
And then just keep progressing longer, and you get bigger and bigger swings. And within 4 or 5 minutes, you're taking full swings with that 8-iron, and you are ready to go.
And that's not that many shots.
It's a good warm-up session.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes
I like that.
Sometimes you can do it in 8, 10 shots, and you're ready.
Yeah, and I think I think another part of it is what you mentioned is maybe even more important than in the beginning is to stretch out.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're older like you or me.
Yeah, I'm real old.
Stretch out first and then do the warm up just that Dave said, and then you know what? Go putt.
And nobody or chip.
Or chip.
What a novel idea.
There's
that
another
is.
good warm up too. Like what you were saying is there's times I can remember being Paso, Avila, Black Lake, Cypress before we played in tournaments. Quite a few times. It was actually on the ESPN tournaments that they would run through here. We'd be out at Cypress or Monarch, and I could remember hitting a couple swings, hit some swings and stuff. But then I always found when I went around, if I found just an open area to hit some pitch shots to kind of keep the hands comfortable,
bet.
that always, if I could just hit some pitch shots and found the center of the face, really soft, like you don't even feel the ball, I'm like, that's it. That's what I need to do.
That's all you got.
And
You
that's,
bet.
I know that's really feel oriented, but that's what I always found worked for me.
Golf's kind of a feel-oriented
Yeah.
game, so
Yeah.
you bet. No, most people hit a few putts. Fewer hit driving range balls.
Yeah.
Almost zero hit pitches and chips.
Yeah.
And
That's
those are
true.
the ones that absolutely save you out there.
Yeah.
And when you're playing or when you're practicing, look down the range. Look at the percentage of people that are out there hitting wedges compared to the percentage of people out there hitting driver.
Oh, yeah.
They're
It's
all hitting that big dog.
It's always
Yep.
about the big dog. It always is. You know? And I mean, that's part of the fun of the game, too. But,
Oh, watch it go far. That's fun. But
that's why a lot of people play. But it is interesting. If you guys, want to email us, Mike at golftalkradio.com. You can also call here, 805-595-3776 with any of your warm-up routines that you found work well for you. You want to share them with the show. Or you just want to call the show, 805-595-3776.
if you got a good story, what the heck?
Throw it in, and when we come back in the second hour, we'll pull you guys up. We'll give you a prize. We're going to come back with
It's 9 o'clock.
Clubbing with Dave.
Holy.
I got some questions for you. Dave and I had some really interesting
False.
conversations yesterday on the phone about reshafting clubs.
Oh,
So you guys stay with us. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. Brought to you by slicksticks.com. Also, PassRoblesGolfClub.com.
You're
Make
cute.
tee times
Way to go.
online anytime. We'll be right back.